What's up, everyone? Good morning. Aaron Nagler here with Cheesehead TV and your Packers Daily Chat. Good to see everybody in the comments. The Packers are quiet, a little too quiet. They have been conspicuous by their absence in the great NFL news roll here as teams scramble to get under the cap starting the new league year in a couple days. Packers are going business as usual, obviously attending pro days, doing the college scouting thing leading up to the draft, but precious little about contracts. We've heard Zadarius Smith making noise on Twitter and Insta. Um, Outside of that, not a whole heck of a lot. We know they're reportedly working on extending Aaron Jones. But outside of that, we haven't heard a whole lot. I would suspect, much like when Kirksey and Wagner got released, that news dropped on a late Friday. I suspect if there's something going on, we'll probably hear about it late today. But maybe we just head into the weekend, mind our own business, and don't worry about it at all until Monday. We'll see. Good morning, everybody. New York Cheesehead, what's up? Gary's here. Yo. Jim, morning. How you doing? Hold on, I gotta adjust some volume things here. There we go. Kevin, what's up, man? Friday news dump. Zach, you know it's coming, buddy. You've been doing this long enough. Happy Friday, Nags and all. Dawson, what's up, man? How are you? Nags, what do you truly expect they do to get under the cap? I don't think I know a lot of people are waiting for cuts, but I think extensions and or restructures are probably how they go about it. Name number one, I do think they will extend Zadarius, which should minimize his cap hit this year. I would have liked to have seen them be proactive with Devontae, but I don't think that's going to happen until middle of the summer to try and extend him. Maybe they do something with Dean Lowry, possible cut, but maybe a restructure there. Preston Smith, I know, has been talked a lot about. Again, I would suspect they would have cut him already if that was the plan, but there's nothing stopping them if they want to do it now that they have the solid cap number. There's a number of moves they can make. We'll see how the big question I think is Aaron Rodgers. What are they going to do about his deal and his desire for clarity? Was that the word he used as far as his place with the team? We'll see how that plays out. It's it's a very tricky situation that Brian and Russ find themselves in, and I am fascinated to watch how they maneuver around. Colin, thank you for the super chat. Nags, I finally get it. Packers drafted Jordan Love so they wouldn't have to give Cam Newton $14 million. People act like $14 million is a lot of money. That is nothing for a starting quarterback in the NFL. I mean, and who even knows? Cam might not even be the starter. Cam might not even make it to week one. But look, I mean, I understand people are ragging on Cam and what have you, but he had absolutely nothing to work with on that offense last year. So I'm not going to sit here and kill him for a subpar 2020 when he was thrown to undrafted free agents and street free agents and basically nobody throughout the entirety of that season. Happy Pizza Day. Thanks, Dale. That's what I'm talking about. All about Pizza Day. Resign Irvin. Yeah, I love Tyler Irvin, the player. He has had injury issues almost his entire career. That may give the Packers pause, but I don't think there's any doubt. I talked about this, I believe, yesterday or the day before. You go back and you watch the first month of the season when they're really utilizing him as far as the jet motion and things of that nature. It's an entirely different offense. It just goes, it just flows, and he's a big part of that. Now, maybe they find a player that fills that role somewhere else, say the draft, but I'm with you. I really like him. He obviously helps you not only in that capacity, but also as a returner. I mean, in a year where you've got to pinch every penny you possibly can, I think bringing him back on maybe not veterans minimum, but something close to it, if he's amiable to it, um, I think that makes a world of sense for the Packers. What else we got here? Does Funchess make this roster? I'm really interested to find out. I'll tell you that. I think it's not a foregone conclusion. I think part of it will depend on who they draft. You got to think if they do draft somebody, that competition heats up, and it's going to be tougher and tougher for Funchess to make the squad. I don't know if is he going to participate on special teams? I tend to doubt it. And if that is the case, it becomes even harder for the Packers to justify keeping him around. So we'll see how the offseason plays out as far as the construction of the roster. But he is by no means a sure thing to make the 53. Absolutely not. Aiden, thanks for the super chat, man. I don't hate Cam, just 14 million is a bit much in my opinion. It's not at all. At all. I mean, it's hardly a going like most starting quarterbacks are making at least $20 million a year. To get Cam at 14 is it's pretty much a bargain. I wish the Bears would have got Cam, lol. Oh, Blake, what would your reaction be if Packers signed Adrian Peterson, said he still wants to play, has proven to be productive late into his career? Blake, what year is this? No. No, I'd much rather draft somebody on day 3 who can be just as productive and help you on special teams. Yeah, no. We're going to tender our RFAs extremely soon. They'll probably drop later today or this weekend, I'd assume. Yeah, Norman, I would suspect that will be one of the bits of news will trickle out this afternoon, late this afternoon. I don't think we'll see any surprises, but that news should be coming soon, sooner rather than later. Do we need a number 3 wide receiver to play special teams typically? I don't not need, but you'd like to, very much so. You know, you can only go so far down the depth chart until you better be playing on special teams. Or you're not going to make the team. Um, more often than not, traditionally, yeah, you want that third guy to be helping on teams, definitely. Is this preseason EQ's last chance? Last chance. I mean, he was coming back from a pretty significant injury last year, and now he's got a year under his belt post injury. And sure, he'll come to camp and he'll battle it out. And it's a year to year league, as it were. I mean, yeah, is it his last chance to stick a contract in Green Bay? Probably, but I don't think that would have been any different had he stayed healthy. Um, I said this earlier. I don't think anyone should expect big, flashy plays from EQ, but he's a guy who can definitely help you. He's going to help move the sticks and going to get you out of jams when you're down injury wise, etc. I don't think he's ever going to slated to be a star wide receiver. And if you're expecting that, I think you're going to be disappointed. But all players have value, and he certainly showed as the year went on. I think a lot of people kind of remember him coming back off of injured reserve in that Tampa game where he was definitely not on the same page with Rodgers and had a couple rough goes of it, but he played better down the stretch. I know everyone, this is so typical. Everyone points to the quote dropped 2-point conversion in the NFC Championship game. What no one remembers is that ball was tipped, which that throws off everything, timing, hand eye, all of it. So, look, I understand people. If you're a Packers wide receiver, you've got to be putting up huge numbers, or else you're a quote disappointment. I don't think that is the case at all with EQ. I think he's coming along just fine. Overshadow, thanks for the super chat. The show last night was great. Bravo to all involved. Thanks for checking it out, Overshadow. Thanks very much. Packers After Dark. If you missed it, Corey and I talked with Tyler Herrick, the host of Packers After Dark, the debut episode. We just talked about the history of Cheesehead TV, and it was a bit surreal. Like I said on Twitter, it was very odd to kind of go back and remember it all, but it was fun. It was a good time. If you're interested in how Cheesehead TV came about, that is definitely the show for you. Would you rather have Tunyon back or Ertz on a 2-year, 16 million incentivized deal? 1,000,000,000% Tunyon back. You just spent all this time developing him. Why do you then want to throw it away for Zach Ertz, who's a great player? Don't get me wrong, but the Tunyon's your dude, and he's hella productive in this offense, and he knows the offense. By the way, that reminds me, if you haven't read Tyler Dunn's piece with MVS, where he spoke with MVS down in Tampa, I guess last week, and he put it up on Go Long, his new blog, website, etc. MVS has a phenomenal passage in this interview with Tyler talking about how the perception is, oh, you can just bring guys in and they're going to work in this offense. And MVS kind of walks through a little bit of how it's not as simple as learn the playbook, because there's the playbook, what's written down on paper, and then there's Aaron's playbook with all the adjustments and everything that happens at the line of scrimmage and how you have to read defenses the same way he does. And if you don't do all that, A, he's not going to throw you the ball, and then B, eventually you're just not going to play. Um, that earning the trust that we hear so much about. So, and that's not to say Zach Ertz couldn't come in and do it. Like, I'm not saying that, but I am saying it's not quite that easy. It's not like Madden. You're not just switching guys out and they automatically work. I highly recommend everyone check out that piece because it was illuminating. Aiden, thanks for the super chat. Packers checking out Amari Rogers. Good move. They're checking out everybody. I say this every year, and everyone gets not upset, but they call me a wet blanket or what have you. But again, it's the draft industrial complex. We all get inundated with all sorts of information this time of year. People track who the Packers have met with, and that's not to say that it's not completely, it's not irrelevant, but they meet with tons of people and showing interest in Amari Rogers. They're going to quote show interest in literally hundreds of guys. Now, would I love him in Green Bay in a Packers uniform? Hell yes, that'd be a lot of fun. But don't put too much stock in anything you read regarding the Packers showing interest in guys. Don't forget, they barely spoke to Jair Alexander prior to drafting him. You never really know. Sometimes it's a smokescreen, sometimes it's genuine interest, etc. But take everything you read about meeting with guys. Obviously, this year is via Zoom, showing interest in guys, etc. Take all of that with a grain of salt. What else we got here? Deshaun, thanks for the super chat. With Green Bay O-line and 12, AJ has Pro Bowl potential. I very much agree. Now, you say O-line, there's some stuff to work out there. Obviously, they're going to have a new center, and who knows who's starting at left tackle while David Bakhtiari is returning from injury. But if Adam Stenavich has shown anything, it's the ability to mix and match guys to get, basically the best five on the field and maximize their potential. And yes, I think given the Packers offense, the fact that you're scared of Aaron Rodgers going downtown at any possible time, there should be ample opportunity for AJ and whoever's back there to eat, no doubt. And we still don't know what the actual construction of this roster is going to be. Maybe they do add a wide receiver. Maybe Will Fuller comes in, and now you're really in a bind as a defensive coordinator. You got to play two deep safeties. Then you're really cooking with gas in the running game. So, yes, your overall point is correct. It's going to be exciting to watch, no doubt about it. Tunyon's my dude. Yeah, that's right, Sandy, because you know what's up. Rodgers calls plays from 2018. He did say he called one this year. I think somebody else mentioned that too this past season. I think it was Devontae when we were talking to him at an availability. Said that at one point Rodgers dipped in and literally called a play that they hadn't run in years. I love that. Oh, we need Asante Samuel. Oh, it's my draft crush. I love him. Jim, thanks for the super chat. Love the music, reminiscent of the dramatics. What you see is what you get. I say turn it up. I'm old enough to remember Jerry Tate. Oh, wow. Jim, that's good stuff. I actually did turn the music down a little bit because I got a few complaints that it was too loud. But I'm glad to hear you rocking out, Jim. Just turn it up on your computer and it'll be good. Thanks for the super chat. Big Cheese, thanks for the super chat. Happy Friday, Nags. Are we more likely to go offense or defense with our first pick in the draft? Yes. I mean, it really depends on how the board falls. And I know that's the boring answer, but it's true. You can say, oh, they're probably going to go defense, and then an offensive tackle falls to them, and that blows that out of the water, and away you go. Now, look, they've spent a lot of draft capital early in the drafts on the defensive side of the ball. At some point, you would think things would balance out and they would start to go offense a little bit more, but really depends how that board falls. And hey, the board might fall in such a way that they trade back out of the first round, get a few more picks, and then go offense and defense. So we'll see. Do we draft a center, do you think? No, Jack, I don't think they do. I think they'll slide over Lucas Patrick to play center. Who knows? Maybe Jake Hansen comes on, but yeah, I don't think they draft one. I'd be surprised. I say that and I watch them draft 2 centers. Andrew, thank you for the super chat. On the O-line, why in all the stupid criticisms of Rodgers and wasting his career and all that, doesn't anybody point out the inconsistency he has had in the O-line, save for last year in 14? Happy Friday. Doesn't any point out the inconsistency he has had? Andrew, I mean, I don't know that that's a legit criticism, though. I mean, that's the NFL. Name a team that has had coherent offensive lines for the majority of a quarterback's career. That's just not a thing that happens. I mean, between injury and free agency and what have you, you're always shuffling guys in and out. There's always up and down. And look, the funny thing is they were so effective last year, and they played how many different combinations along the offensive line due to injuries? Adam Stenavich did a fucking phenomenal job last year. I thought they were in big trouble, and it was anything but. I mean, they did between Stenavich and then the personnel group, you know, bringing in Rick Wagner as a tackle, and who I thought was probably maybe they overestimated his ability, and I was dead wrong. He played way above the level I was expecting, but the ability to move guys around, I just, yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know that that's a legit criticism of the Packers. I mean, that's life in the NFL, right? I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy. I want Thomas Morstead. Did you? I don't know everybody. So on. I mean, I think they'll bring in a punter, but I can't imagine they'd use anything other than a undrafted free agency to do it. TKM, you're at your post. What's up, man? Nags, got nothing. Enjoy your weekend. Pappy fun. Thank you, TK. That is good stuff. Thank you, sir. Thank you for the support. Look at the Seahawks O line. Oof, Brandy, you ain't lying. The Seahawks O line is so bad the quarterback's demanding a trade. Stenavich was such a home run hire, especially after losing Campen. Back to the future, you are damn right about that. I remember there was some chatter about LaFleur making that hire, how they had gone from Campen, who was this real well-respected veteran who had had the pelts on the wall, and they go to Stenavich, very young coach, some trepidation there on the outside, but LaFleur seems to know what he's doing. Yeah, Steno's been a home run hire, no doubt about it. Nags, I sense a lack of hype for Jay Sternberger from you so far this offseason. Quoi? What? Jace is my boy. I love me some Jay Sternberger. What, I need to tweet about it every day? Wait, what's that line from the movie? What do you want me to do? Sing an opera? Lose a war? If anybody can name that movie, I will be so impressed. Anyway, Nicholas, thanks for the super chat. Bill, hi. How are you? Nicholas, thanks for the super chat. Great show last night, Nags. Interesting stuff. Thanks for checking it out. Packers After Dark, baby. That's all Tyler. Tyler literally said, I want to do this. And we went, okay. Tom Brady just extended in Tampa. He's going to play till he's 50, huh? It's going to be great. Moises, thanks for the super chat. Nags, thanks for all you do. Do you think Josh Jackson will have a good year with this change of scheme? Any Green Bay defensive back you think will break out this year? I think it's a little early for breakout candidates, but Josh Jackson, you talk about the last hurrah, last chance, what have you. This is it. And I'm not even convinced he makes the team at this point. Yeah, it's going to be interesting because we all know last year Patton was talking about how he was a strict boundary corner, and I think that's good for him. But then they never got him on the field to the point where he was a healthy scratch most weeks towards the end. And that, again, as we were talking about earlier, comes back to special teams. Guy doesn't contribute. So, yeah, if you're not contributing on special teams and you're a healthy scratch, you better come in and kick some serious ass in the offseason program and training camp, etc. Because if he's not at least in the rotation, if not the starter opposite Jair, I think he's done. How do you justify keeping him around? And look, I like Josh. I thought he had a much better camp last summer than that was his best camp in a Packers uniform. Like, no question about it. But if you can't get on the field and you don't play teams, it ain't long for this world. No doubt about it. All right, guys, I got time for one or two more. What else we got? Paul, thanks for the super chat. Nags, great stuff last night. Wanted to ask Tyler why Packers After Dark wasn't in 1080. Because StreamYard has a limit at 720 unless you go to like the pro plan. And You don't need to see us in 1080. Nobody needs that. Good Lord, I'm ugly enough as it is. Nobody needs to see it heightened. Running scared, didn't use Google. Look at you. Well done. Holy shit. Someone got the running scared drop. Awesome. You don't look Italian to me. What do you want from me? You want me to cook you up a pot of ragu? Fight an opera? Or, no, shit. Sing an opera? Lose a war? I love that movie. Oh, I'm so impressed someone got that. Well done, Dacoba 20. That's amazing. Best Packer team ever. I'm with the 62. Another Thunder and Lightning. Dare to Dream. Ooh, Charlie. 62. I mean, that's the question for Corey Benke. He's the history buff here. My favorite team will always be the 96 team for obvious reasons. But best team ever, I know 62 is in the conversation. I think that 96 team is in the conversation. And I think there's probably a Lambeau team that's in the conversation. But again, that's for Corey to talk about. We're living in a 4K world. Yeah, and I want to jump. Is it week 1 yet? I hate the offseason, Nathan. A lot of ball game left, kid. Sorry. All right, I'm going to have to get going. I can't thank you guys enough for hanging out, talking Packers each and every day, Monday through Friday, right here on Cheesehead TV. Please do me a huge favor. Hit like on the video. Subscribe to the channel. If you're so inclined, please consider supporting us over on our Patreon page, patreon.com/cheeseheadtv. All we ask is $5 a month. It supports everything we do with the brand, with the website, with the video group, etc. But if you can't do that, I totally understand. But do please hit like on the video, subscribe to the channel, tell your friends, tell your family. Cheesehead TV, we are devoted to Green Bay Packers fans worldwide. Thanks a lot, everybody. Have a great weekend. I'll talk to you Monday, unless there's some breaking news. Maybe we'll do some extra cheese later. In the meantime, go Pack Go.